It's now 6:30 p.m. Sunday in Biloxi, Mississippi, and the hurricane is really beginning to be felt here. As you can see, the palm trees are blowing, the rain is beginning to increase, and the sea is beginning to churn in the Gulf. It promises to be a long, long night in Biloxi.
Even veteran reporter Jim Metcalf had no idea what lay ahead as Hurricane Camille took aim at the Mississippi Gulf Coast. During the nighttime hours of August 17th, 1969, people who lived along the Mississippi Gulf Coast and South Louisiana did the best that they could to get ready for one of the fiercest storms in modern history. As dawn broke on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, the world was stunned at what it saw. Camille's 210-mile-an-hour winds and 20-foot seas caused massive destruction that people have spent decades trying to describe.
This scene here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast is almost like an endless nightmare, almost like an endless one-act play with some sort of a macabre ending.
And some of the luxury motel units along the Gulf Coast, it just looked like somebody had come in with a giant hand and swept everything out of sight.
Along the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Camille killed more than 130 people and destroyed 6,000 homes for many people in the storm's path. Their lives would never be the same. In the days ahead, amazing stories of survival would become part of the storm's legendary history.
We went upstairs and Mrs. Dunkelman rescued our pet dog and brought it up the stairways, and we sat there, and the house would keep on crunching, tearing and ripping, just like you pull nails out of it.
We still thought we were in the
And we thought, oh God, here's what we're going to do. We're going to die here right now.
Hotel owner Henry Fortner told one of the most incredible stories.
And actually, one fellow slept through the whole hurricane in his room, and we wakened him this morning and told him about it.
You mean he slept in this building behind us?
Right, he slept in this building all night long.
The damage from Hurricane Camille was not limited to Mississippi. Flood-prone areas in Plaquemines and St. Bernard parishes were also devastated, prompting President Richard Nixon to declare them disaster areas.
What are your thoughts as you see this house for the first time?
Just awful.
Not much left to it.
No, sir, it looks total.
Chandler Island right there. This is one that was closest to New Orleans right here.
Legendary meteorologist Nash Roberts is an expert on forecasting hurricanes and even wrote a book about the extreme Hurricane Camille.
I knew by Saturday night about where it was going to go in. I was pretty sure of it, and I had a pretty good idea what the velocities were going to be, and but I didn't think that the storm surge would be as high as it was.
Roberts says even though there are more satellites and computers to help meteorologists today, he had no trouble forecasting Camille 30 years ago.
I didn't find it difficult to forecast at all. It moved very rapidly. It didn't zigzag anywhere hardly at all. It had a straight shot for where it was going.
Camille taught us many lessons, and much has been improved since she blasted ashore on the fateful August night. But all the experts agree that if there is one fact that remains the same, even in this age of advanced technology, it is that we must always respect the sea and its awesome force. This is Bill Eldon.
And none of us were around for that.
Right.
You know, I was still in school in St. Louis. You guys weren't born yet.
Right. It just depends on when you're born. You know, there's always that felt like that storm that defines you. Like for my parents, they always talk about Betsy.
Betsy was only a couple of years before Camille.
Yeah, 65. Yeah.
And Nash, you heard Nash just say that he didn't think it was a
you know, a difficult forecast. It was a straight shot. Initially, the initial forecast called for Camille going into portions of the Florida Panhandle, and of course, it missed that by a long shot.
And, you know, for those of us who have been in New Orleans for a long time, I mean, Nash was the man.
Yeah, I think most people agree with that, Eric. Yeah. Camille was a beast. It really was. What you're looking at here is interesting. It was a reanalysis project. This is the actual radar that they took the still images and put it into video format, and you can really see the storm here. Now, I was talking about earlier, Camille is the strongest hurricane to ever impact Louisiana. It did not make landfall technically here because the center never crossed Plaquemines or St. Bernard, but it did make landfall near Waveland Bay, St. Louis. But what happened, I'll put it in motion here, and you can see that western eye wall moved past Plaquemines Parish there, and then watch what happens. That eye wall really impacted eastern St. Bernard, so we did likely have Category 5 winds in eastern St. Bernard, which would be the strongest winds from a hurricane ever in Louisiana, and then it went on to make landfall, of course, near Bay St. Louis. By the way, the storm surge there from Camille was 24 feet in the pass, and that stood for many decades, of course, until Hurricane Katrina came along and topped that by around 28 feet. So Katrina wasn't as strong wind-wise, but it had bigger surge because Katrina was a bigger storm.